Scott again, and we're back with Jamar from Reyes Restoration. And again, we're talking about water damage today. And specifically, Jamar, in you're obviously in this space every day. In your opinion, can water damage ever be fixed, or is it always something that's pretty serious?
Water damage can always be fixed, whether it's removing affected building material or just treating an area depending on the situation.
hmm And do you feel like water damage is always a serious thing, or can it just be a relatively minor thing that you don't need to actually help with?
Um, that's a case by case, but it's always best to consult a professional such as Reyes Restoration, to come in
hmm
and evaluate it.
Yeah, because you don't want to make the wrong call. I get
Correct.
that.
Correct.
Um, so obviously water damage, it can come from loads of different things. It could be a burst pipe, it could be a slow drip, it could be a humidity issue even. What types of damage are usually repairable without major reconstruction?
That's also a case by case, until we come in
hmm
and assess, and actually sometimes it requires us to get started. What we think may be small and easy, once we start the demolition, it may end up being more than what we expected, but you really can't tell until you get started.
Yeah, is that where you get occasions where you've ripped off some drywall and it seemed like a small issue, and then it turns out the entire wall is just
Correct.
sodden?
Correct.
Yeah. Um. So, on average, how long would repairs take for a water damage claim?
Um,
hmm hmm
so we've been in situations where we've cut out 1 square foot of drywall, which will take the guys, all of 30 minutes to come back to repair that. We've
hmm
been in situations where we're gutting entire basements or entire floors or entire houses, which will take a little bit longer. So it can range anywhere from a 1 day repair or a multi-month repair.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, it's a huge range, isn't it? So,
Correct.
what what's the usual process once you get on site for that first section? Have you got like a step-by-step playbook that you follow?
And is this for the mitigation or the repair side?
Take me through the whole process.
So for mitigation, first day we'd come out, and do our assessment. Depending on
hmm
the age the house was built, we may have to get it tested for lead and asbestos.
hmm
If we don't have to do that, we begin with any necessary demolition and we set up our drying equipment. On average, it takes about 3 days for whatever we're drying to dry, whether it's the subfloor or sill plates, wood, drywall,
hmm
carpet, case by case carpet, but about 3 days for the drying.
hmm
Once that's done, we actually put together the repairs estimate and we submit it to the insurance company.
hmm
Um, and depending on the amount of time it takes for the insurance company to approve the repairs estimate, will depend on how quick we can come back in to start the
hmm
repairs. On average, our average water loss, once the repairs are approved, it'll take us about a week to put everything back together.
hmm And do you always try and leave it in at least as good, if not a better condition than you found it?
Always.
Always.
Most of the times it's in better condition.
Yeah.
Unless it's a brand new house and they just moved in that day,
Mm.
it'll be in a better condition.
Yeah, yeah. Um, great. So obviously, there's a huge range in terms of the severity of the jobs. How can you tell the difference between something that's relatively minor surface damage from water damage and it's actually a deeper structural issue?
Um, so we can't tell until we actually start the demo. But once we start the demo and be able to see the extent of damage, we can make that determination at that point.
hmm And how does the conversation usually go at that point? If it's something that, let's say, the homeowner thinks it's a really small thing, and then you get in there, and then it turns out to be much bigger, how does that conversation go?
So basically, we'll bring the homeowner in, make sure that it's safe for them to walk in. We'll show them exactly what we thought we had to do versus what we then have to do. And we'll
hmm
explain to them in detail, hey, to properly remediate this or mitigate this, we have to continue until we no longer see the damage.
hmm
but everything gets documented properly.
Yeah. And I know that's really important from an insurance perspective as well. How often do you actually walk into homes where you have to have that conversation? Is it a fairly common thing?
Um, where we have to have that conversation, not necessarily, because typically we try to educate the homeowner on the process and let them know we're going to take out what's needed to take out,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll document everything.
Mm-hmm.
If it's something that's really astronomical, we'll then have that conversation. But for the most part, when we meet the client, we make sure that they feel very comfortable and okay with allowing us to do what we have to do because they know that we're going to take all precautions and document everything properly.
Mm-hmm. And I guess this is my last question, really. If the homeowner were to do nothing, they've noticed there's some water damage and they think I'm just going to leave this because it looks like it's dry. What can happen in that scenario?
Then you risk the potential of mold growth.
Mm-hmm.
So you never want to do that, even if it's just the small spot on the ceiling. Again, give us a call. If you're looking to ignore it just because it's a small spot and you don't want to file a claim because you may have a high deductible, again,
Mm-hmm.
allow us to come out and inspect it. If we feel like it can be more than what it really is or what it looks to be, we'll explain that. But if it's not and it's something small and it'll be less than the deductible, we'll still encourage you could then pay out of pocket, which will probably be less than your deductible, to
Mm-hmm.
have us properly treat the area.
Yeah, and it's important from a health perspective. It's important from a safety in your home perspective as well. Um, so yeah, I think that's an important message to get out there. Just call a
Yes, sir.
professional if you notice anything.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you again for your time, and we'll speak again soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.